Hello, I'm Chief Gary Mayer of your Troy Police Department. The video you're about to see is part of an ongoing series we have of crime that occurs in the city of Troy. What we want to do is educate the community that we serve so we can help prevent you from becoming a victim of crime. We hope we're able to inform you of some of the ongoing criminal actions that are going on in your community. It's part of what we do in our community outreach. We want to make sure that we do that. Thank you.
I'm Officer James Fell of the Troy Police Department, and I'm currently assigned to Community Services section. Community Services, our philosophy is crime prevention. And part of that is we talk to kids about how to be safe, especially around strangers. Over 800,000 kids each year are reported missing throughout different agencies throughout the United States. Most of those really aren't missing. A lot of times kids are either didn't tell their parents where they were at, or didn't come home when they were supposed to, or sometimes they get in fights with their parents and they kind of hang out at their friend's house. Even sometimes we have adults, because of medical issues, can't find their way home or get lost, and they're also reported missing. About 115 kids each year throughout the United States are actually truly kidnapped by strangers. 115, that's 115 kids too many. So we try and talk to as many kids as we can how to be safe, especially around strangers. In today's program, we're going to talk to some 4- and 5-year-olds and teach them how to be safe around strangers using cartoon characters. Then we're going to talk to some kids that are 10, 11, 12 years old and put them in some situations that may be dangerous and give them some ideas as to how, if they do find out they're in a situation that may be out of their control, how they can get out of it. I'm hoping by watching today's program that you can sit down with your kids and talk to them and get some ideas as to how to keep themselves safe. Well, good morning. I'm Officer Jim, and I came here today to teach you how to be safe around strangers. Okay, before I can do my program though, I got to tell you the name of it, okay? And the name of it is called, if I get my words right, stranger danger. Now those are big words. And when you get bigger, when you get to 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade, you're gonna put all a bunch of words together and we call it a sentence. But the only way you know what the sentence means is you break each word apart. And that's what we did today. That's why I put them on 2 different cards. Okay, and I'm gonna take questions at the end, okay? First word is strangers. Anybody know what the word stranger means? Right, exactly. What's your name? David. David, that's exactly right. A stranger is someone we don't know. Okay, someone we've never met before. And there's good strangers and there's bad strangers. Okay, now I'll teach the difference. Good strangers are, remember when you came here like a little while ago, about an hour or so ago, you didn't know anybody in the classroom, right? You didn't know your teachers. They were all strangers, right? But as you got to know them, you got to realize they're good strangers. Right? And that's what's going to happen. Every time you get in a new grade, you're going to meet new kids and new friends. But for the very first time meeting them, they're going to be somebody you don't know, but they're going to be good strangers. Problem with bad strangers try and trick us and make us think they're good strangers. They're really not. Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to pick out which ones are the good strangers and which ones are the bad strangers, okay? So I always want you to remember, when you meet somebody for the first time, I always want you to think in your mind, you know what? This might be a bad stranger, this might be a good stranger, I just don't know, so I want you to be careful, okay? Katie, I'll get questions at the end. You know what the word danger means? Or what's dangerous around your house? Do you know? Go ahead.
Danger means something bad.
It could be. What about, let's say your mom or dad is cooking something on the stove. Would you put your hand right on the stove? And someone said, why? You'll get burned, right? It's very dangerous. Right, right. What about, let's say you're drinking a glass of milk and you drop the glass, and it breaks on the ground. Would you just go and grab that glass with your fingers?
No.
What would happen?
You'll get cut.
Yeah, you get cut, right? Right. What about, let's say you're playing soccer in the front yard and you kick the ball and it goes right across the street. Would you just go run across the street and go get the ball?
No.
Why? You got to look both ways so you don't get flattened like a pancake, right? So all those things we talked about, the fire, the stove, or broken glass, or not looking both ways, all those things are dangerous, right? Shh, but as long as you're careful, you're not going to get hurt. So if you don't put your hand in the stove, that fire is not going to hurt you. And if you don't just pick that glass up and you have your mom or dad sweep it up, it's not going to cut you. And if you look both ways across the street, you're not going to get hit by a car, right?
Like a pancake.
Right, and it's the same thing about strangers. As long as you're careful around strangers, they're not going to hurt you. Okay, so I brought some friends to help me teach you how to be safe around strangers. I'll get questions to the end, Kate, okay? Who are these characters?
Winnie the Pooh.
We got Winnie the Pooh. Who else?
Tigger.
And who else? One more. Who's the little guy here? Anybody know his name is?
Piglet.
Piglet, right? And what's going on in this picture?
They're hugging each other.
Yeah, they're hugging, smiling. What's that make them?
Happy.
That makes them. What else does that make them?
Friends.
Friends, right? They're friends. We know they're friends, right? Okay. What I want you to remember about this picture is I always want you to do things with your friends. Okay. If I come in here one day, I shouldn't see like one of you playing all by yourself while everybody else is way over here playing. Okay. I always want you to play with your friends. Okay? Always do things with your friends. You're going to have all kinds of friends every year. When you go to new school, you're going to meet all kinds of friends, and even when you get older, you'll meet all kinds of friends. All right. So I always want you to do things with your friends, and that's what this picture means. Always do things with your friends. Can we say that? Always do things with your friends. And don't forget my pictures, okay? Because I'm going to ask you at the end, see if you remember all my pictures, all right? What about this picture?
Kangaroo.
What are their names? Remember what the names are? Well, Kanga's the mom, and Roo's the baby. And what's going on in that picture? Can you see what's going on? What happens when your mouth goes like that? You're talking, right? And they're talking. And what's happened is Roo is going to go in the backyard and play. So Roo's going to tell his mom, hey, Mom, I want to go in the backyard and play. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And that's what I want you to do. Whenever you're going to do something, whether you're going to go upstairs and play, or maybe down in the basement, or in the backyard, or maybe when you start getting bigger and you walk to your friend's house, you should always tell your parents where you're going, or who's ever taking care of you, whether it's your babysitter, or if you're in your classroom, your teacher. Okay? They should always know where you're going. So whoever's taking care of you should always know where you're at. And that's what this picture means. Always tell your parents where you're going. So always tell your parents where you're going. Can we say that? Always tell your parents where you're going. All right. Let's see what's going on in this picture here. Who's this character again?
Winnie the Pooh and Rain.
Winnie the Pooh and what? In rain, right. Does he look happy or sad?
Sad.
Yeah. You know what happened in this picture? He got lost. And there's a kind of a story, and I'll tell you what happened. He actually looked like this earlier in the day. He's a walker. He goes to school. He doesn't take the bus. He has to walk to school. Now, some of you, when you go to school, most of you take the bus. But those of you who live real close to school are going to have to be a walker. Now, I went to school. I was a walker. Okay, so when I was real little, my mom would walk me to school when I was real little. As I got bigger, she always taught me the way to walk to school. Well, Winnie the Pooh lived way over here. And his school was way over here. What he had to do is he had to walk on the sidewalk like this, and then walk down the sidewalk, and then walk to his school. And then when school was over, he'd walk back on the sidewalk, walk down the sidewalk, and then walk back home. Okay, so one day he's at school, and school's over, so he's looking out, he's all, you know, when I'm really hungry, because what does Winnie the Pooh like to eat? Honey. He likes to eat honey, and his honey pot was empty. So he wanted to get home real quick. So instead of staying on the sidewalk, he decided I'm going to take a shortcut, because we call that his school and his home. In between that's called the 100-acre wood. So instead of walking the sidewalk, he thought he'd sneak through the forest and take a shortcut and get home real quick. Well, what happened was it started to rain. And when it starts to rain, it gets real dark. Okay, so he got, and he got scared because he got lost. So he sat down on top of his honey pot because it was getting all wet. So he kept himself dry, and he started to cry because he was sad he couldn't find his way home. Well, luckily his mom looked down the sidewalk and didn't see him coming and thought, uh-oh, I bet Pooh tried to take that shortcut like I told him never ever do. So luckily she went out the woods and found him and brought him back home. But she told him, remember we talked a long time ago not to take shortcuts? Okay, stay on the sidewalk. And that's what I tell kids, okay? Don't be taking shortcuts, okay? Stay on the sidewalk where me and my policeman friends can find you and see you walking to school or walking to your friend's house, because when you get older, you'll walk to your friend's house, or you may take your bike to your friend's house. But stay on the sidewalk so I can see you, other people can see you. Don't be taking shortcuts. Don't cut through woods. Don't cut through people's yards, okay? You stay on the sidewalk, and the route that your mom or dad wants you to walk, okay? So always, what this picture means, always go straight home. Don't take shortcuts. Always go straight home. Can we say that? Always go straight home. All right, let me see. What do we got here? Who do we got here again? What's that? Say it louder, David. It's Pooh. Who else do we have in there?
Stranger.
Yeah, David was right. It's stranger. He said stranger right away, because remember, what's a stranger? It's someone we don't know, right? Okay, what's Pooh doing?
He's trying to get the sucker.
Yeah, he's going to sucker from the stranger. Who thinks it's a good idea to take candy from a stranger?
No.
No, we don't take things from strangers. Remember I said earlier about bad strangers? They try and trick us to make us think they're good strangers when they're really not. Well, that's what this stranger's doing. He's tricking Pooh by giving him candy to make Pooh think he's a good stranger when they're really not. But we don't get tricked by strangers because we don't take things from a stranger. We don't take candy. We don't take gum. We don't take money. We don't take toys. We don't take anything from a stranger. So don't get tricked by a stranger. So don't take things from strangers. Okay? So some stranger tries to give you something, we don't take it. The thing is, I tell some kids, you know, when a stranger tries to talk to you, I tell kids to put their hand up right to them and say, I don't talk to strangers. Can we say that? Put our hand up right now and say, I don't talk to strangers. And then go tell your mom or dad, or go tell your teacher some stranger tried to give you something. Well, maybe your mom or dad might know who that person is and say, well, no, that's not a stranger, that's so-and-so, that's our friend. And that's okay, or maybe your teacher might know who that is. But if your mom or dad doesn't know who that stranger is, and your teacher doesn't know who that stranger is, they'll call me or one of my policeman friends, and we'll find out who that stranger is. Okay, so don't get tricked by strangers. Don't take things from strangers, okay? That's what this picture means. Don't take things from strangers. Can we say that? Don't take anything from a stranger. Okay. Hold on. What do we got going on here?
Tigger's scared.
Yeah, he's scared. He climbed up a tree. What else we got in there?
A car.
Yeah. Whose car is that? Is it your mom or dad's car?
No.
Is that my police car?
No.
Well, if it's not your mom or dad's car, and it's not my police car, whose car is it?
Stranger.
Exactly right, Jillian. It's a stranger's car. Okay. Well, Tigger knew better because he went walking by that car and some stranger tried to talk to him. Some strangers try and tell us things. Right. Some strangers try to tell us things like, hey, your mom or dad called. They want me to bring you home. Well, we don't go in strangers' cars. Or sometimes they'll say, can you help me find my lost dog? I can't find it. Come on in my car and help me. No, we don't get in strangers' cars. In fact, we don't go near a stranger's car. Okay, so Tigger knew that. Some stranger in a car tried to talk to him. He took off running to the nearest tree and went to a safe place. Okay, and that's what I want you to do. I don't want you to get near or in a stranger's car.
I can
Okay.
climb up a tree.
Right. What? What, Nash?
My brother friend, he was playing with his friends and he's now letting me on a trampoline.
Oh, okay. So we don't get in or near strangers' cars because we don't get tricked by a stranger. So if some stranger tries to talk to you in a car, we can flip our hand and say what?
Don't talk to strangers.
I don't talk to strangers. Then run to somewhere safe.
And don't touch.
So if you're at a school, run back to school. Or if you're at home, right, hold on.
Or you can't hold a hand.
Right,
and open it.
right. So run. Go run somewhere where it's safe. Go run back home where it's safe. Okay? Shh, Nash. Okay? I'll get questions at the end, okay? All right? But run where it's safe, and go back and tell your teacher that some stranger in a car tried to talk to her. Tell your mom or dad. And like I said, maybe your mom or dad know who that person is. They'll tell you that's not a stranger. Again, but if they don't know who that person is, they'll call me. I'll come find out who that stranger is. Okay? So we don't go in or near a stranger's car. Can we say that? Don't go in or near a stranger's car.
And don't touch it.
Right. Well, let's see. Remember I said I was going to ask you what these meant? Does anybody remember what this one means?
Happy and
No.
friends.
Always do things with your
Friends.
always do things with your friends. What about this one?
Always tell where you're going.
All right. Always tell your parents where you're going, or whoever's taking care of you. Always tell them where you're going.
And my
What about? Hold on. What about this one?
Winnie the Pooh is lost.
Right. So what? Always go straight.
Home.
Always go straight home. No shortcuts, right?
Right.
This one?
Don't take things from strangers.
Yeah, don't take anything from a stranger. Don't take gum, candy, money, toys. Don't take anything from a stranger. What about my last one?
Don't
Don't-
be a stranger.
Don't go in or near.
A stranger's car.
Right, don't go in or near a stranger's car. Well, very good. Let's see what else I have here. Let's go on to this picture.
When?
They're friends, right? I'm not trying to trick you. They're friends, right? Always play with them. You always be safe from strangers or bad strangers when you do things with your friends, right? Don't play by yourself. Always, you're going to have all kinds of friends. Always play with your
Those
friends.
are your friends.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you're very good. They're right. They were. What's going on in this picture?
He's riding a bike.
Yeah, he's riding a bike, but he's doing two things wrong. What's he doing wrong?
He forgot his helmet.
Right, he doesn't have his helmet on, right? What else? Is that bike too big or too small for him?
Too big.
No, it's too small. He's too big for that bike, okay? So one, always wear your helmet. Did you ever see a kid that falls and maybe breaks his arm or leg? I broke my arm when I was a kid. Hold on. Okay, the doctors can fix these things when you break an arm or a leg, but sometimes when you fall and crack your head, sometimes the doctors can't fix that. Okay, so that's why you always got to wear your bike helmet when you're riding a bike, okay? Because you only get one of these, okay? So always wear it, okay? And make sure your bike fits you, okay? Make sure your bike's not, hold on. Okay, but always make sure your bike fits you, okay? If it's too small or too big, you can really fall off a bike that doesn't fit you, okay? Hold on. What's going on in the next picture?
A baby trying to drive.
Now, can a baby drive a car?
No.
No. Where should that baby be, though?
In his crib.
No.
Cars.
In his car seat. Everybody here has to be in a car seat or booster seat, right? So if you're in a car, I want to see in your booster seat, okay? Okay, with your seatbelt on.
What? The baby's driving a baby.
What's going on here? What's going on?
Someone's stealing something from a stranger.
No, it's taking something from a stranger, right? One, we said we don't take things from a stranger, and two, look how close she is to that car. Remember we said, one, we don't take things from a stranger, and two, no, that's not her mommy, and two, we don't go near a stranger's car, and look how close she is, okay? All right?
I can get close to my own car.
What's going on here? There's three things in this picture. That's wrong.
He's hiding in a tree.
No. What's going on?
He's walking.
What?
He's walking in the street.
He's walking near the street, right? There's a perfectly good sidewalk here. Remember I said earlier about being safe, is you got to walk on the sidewalk, right? Okay, what about, where's his friends at? He's walking all by himself. He's a walker to school, and he's walking all by himself, okay? Remember I said about doing things to your friends? That includes walking to school or walking to your friend's house, okay? Always walk with somebody, okay? And three, look where's his head pointed, Kate? Is it pointed up or down?
Down.
It's pointed down, okay? When you walk, keep your head up, okay? What happens if some squirrel runs out of here and scares him? First place he's going to run is that way because he didn't see it in time and got scared. Okay, what's coming down the road?
A car.
Right, yeah, he runs down the road, he's going to get hit by the car. So one, walk on the sidewalk, walk with your friends, and look up where you're going, okay? What we got here?
A stranger.
Very good. Say that, Ellie. Strangers. Most kids tell me, well, that's a nice lady. She smiled. But to me and you, we don't know who that person is. And if you don't know who that person is, if you don't know who that person is, that's a stranger. Right? Very good, Ellie. Okay. So some strange lady, some stranger tries to talk to you. You can put your hand out and say, I don't talk to strangers, but you got to run and go tell somebody that a stranger tried to talk to you. Okay, that's the most important, is run where it's safe and go tell somebody. Go tell your mom or dad. What happens if you're in school and you look out and there's somebody looking in the windows? Well, go tell your teacher, hey, there's somebody looking in our windows, some stranger. Or maybe a stranger comes to your door at home. You got to go tell your mom or dad there's a stranger at the door. Okay? Or if there's somebody in the park, you see somebody in the park, tell your teacher, hey, there's some stranger out on the playground. Okay? And they may know who that person is. Your mom or dad might know who that person is at the door. And that's okay. All right? But to you, if it's a stranger, you got to go tell somebody. What's going on in this picture? What's going on? We got, what, two boys. Where are they standing?
Next to a stranger's car.
They're standing next to a stranger's car in the road.
Not close.
Right. Well, they're kind of close, but they're standing in the road, too. So what should they do right now? What should they do right now?
Going on the sidewalk.
Yeah, but what should...
Didn't you take them in jail?
No, I'm not going to take them to jail, but what should they do? It said run on the sidewalk, but they should run and go tell somebody, right? That some stranger at the car tried to talk to them. That's what they did. They took off running. They ran together and they ran home and told their mom that some stranger in a red van tried to talk to them. Okay, that's what I want you to do, okay? All right, well, that's all my pictures, but I got a question for you, and I'm going to stand up for this one, okay? How did you know I'm not a... No, me. I'm sorry, I'll stand up. How do you know I'm not a stranger?
Because you're a policeman.
Well, how do you know I'm a policeman, though?
Because of the clothes.
I have clothes. What was that? Who said that?
Because you have
Hold on. What did you say? What is that called?
a
that's called a badge, right? And it has a number. What's it, Kate, what's that number on there?
5.
5. Every policeman gets, or policewoman gets their own number. So if you didn't know my name, remember earlier I said I'm Officer Jim, but if you, hold on, but if you forgot my name, you could call the Troy Police Department and say, I met an officer today, but I didn't know his name, but his number was badge, it was badge 5. And I'll say, well, that's Officer Jim. Okay, so we all get our own name. We all get our own badge number. What else do I have on me, tells you I'm a policeman? Hold on, go ahead. Ava, what else?
Don't kiss me.
What are these? Well, we'll get to that. What are these called? Does anybody know what these are called? These are called patches. And they have police written on here. Okay, and tells you what police department I work for. And we have one on this side, and if I flex my arm this way, I have one on this side too. And you won't see any red in the patches. Somebody told me a long time ago that police patches don't have any red. We save that for the firemen. We have all kinds of different colors except for red. Okay, so that tells you I'm a policeman. Now you said on my side, Ava or Kate said that I have a walkie-talkie. Okay, and that's exactly what this is. Kind of looks like a phone. So if you have a problem at home, hold on, Nash, hold on. If you have a problem at home, and say you got to call 911 because it's an emergency, maybe there's an accident out front of your house, or maybe there's somebody took some things and stolen from you, and you call 911, they call me on this and tell me where to go. So I'm going to turn this on, and we're going to listen and see if anybody talks. And nobody talks, and we'll make somebody talk, and we'll show you how that works. So I'll set that off to the side, and we'll get back to that. What else tells you I'm a policeman? Anything else that I have on me tells you I'm a policeman?
A gun.
Very good. I know it's kind of scary to say I have a gun. Remember that word? Let's find my word again. Hold on. Remember that word I said, danger? Well, guns are very dangerous too. Okay, I use them. I'm very careful, just like I want you to be very careful. Okay, hold on. But I use a gun to protect myself, protect everybody here, even sometimes to protect the bad people, the criminals, we call them. But I've never had to use my gun. Okay, hold on. I've never had to use my gun. Okay, because sometimes you get in a situation, you'll learn this as you grow older, and sometimes somebody starts arguing, starts yelling, and getting really mad. If you talk to them real nice, sometimes you'll calm them down. And that's what I do as a police person. Okay? I get in situations, I just talk to people and calm them down. But I talked about the gun because I want you to be real careful. Because remember that word about dangerous? Guns are very dangerous. Okay? Problem is when you're this, hold on, problem when you're this age, it's kind of hard to tell the difference between a real gun and toy guns or fake guns. And kids every year get hurt because they think it's a toy gun when it's really not. Okay, so I always want you to remember, if you ever come across a gun that's not your toy gun, okay, don't ever pick it up. So let's say you're at school and you find a gun in the grass, or you're at home, don't ever bring it in the house or bring it to school and say, hey, look what I found. And go tell your teacher, your mom or dad. Just leave it right where it's at. And just go tell your mom or dad or your teacher that you found some gun out in the grass or out in the parking lot or something. And tell them where it's at. And if they don't know if it's a real gun or not, they'll call me or one of my policeman friends, and we'll find out if that gun's a real gun or not. Because see, the problem is some real guns can look fake, and some fake guns can look real. And like I said, when you're this age, it's kind of hard to tell the difference. So I want you to be real careful. As long as you don't touch a gun, it's not going to hurt you. Just like that dangerous stuff we talked about earlier, remember? As long as you don't touch it, just like strangers, just like the fire, as long as you don't touch it, it's not going to hurt you. Okay, now my kids, they have toy guns at home, and I put them in a special bucket. So when their friends come over, their friends have to ask me or their mom if it's okay to play with those toy guns. And I tell my boys, when they go to a friend's house, they're not allowed to play with their toy guns until they ask their mom or dad if it's okay. Okay?
Can we see a gun?
No, because it's very dangerous. That's why it stays right here. Okay?
Can we see your badge?
You can see my badge, right? My badge.
Really?
Okay, let's see my phone. It didn't work here, so let's see if we can make it work. Okay, shh. I know, I'm going to make it work right now. Radio from Sam 3.
Joy.
Radio check, how's it reading?
If you're calling for a radio check, it's coming in a little muffled.
10-4, thanks. See, so I can talk to somebody, just like a phone. All right? I have one more thing you didn't say that I have on me that tells you I'm a policeman. Okay, it's way in the back. Anybody know what these are?
Handcuffs.
These are handcuffs. I use these when I go to arrest somebody. Hold on, Nash. I love to catch criminals. People that take things that aren't theirs and steal them or hurt people. I love to arrest them, put handcuffs on them. But I bring these out and tell you because every once in a while I have to arrest somebody that's a good person that makes a mistake. So I always want you to remember, if you see one of me or one of my policeman friends and we're arresting somebody, that doesn't make that person a bad person because sometimes we have to arrest people that make mistakes. Okay, now my question is, can kids be arrested?
No,
How come?
because they're little.
They're little, what else? Do they do bad things or they always,
And babies.
or do they always do good things? Julian, do they always do good things or bad things? Good things, okay, let's see. If I have to arrest them, hold on, Nash, hold on. If I have to arrest somebody, your hands have to fit in. I have to put these on you. Does anybody think their hands will fit in here?
No.
Anybody want to try?
Yes.
You don't have to try. Nash will try. Come on up, Nash. Let's see if Nash's hands will fit in there. Nope, they don't fit him. Anybody else want to try? Oh, come on up. Let's see. They fit? Nope, they come right off. Come on, Kate. Well, come on up. No, they don't fit. No. No, they don't fit. Anybody else? Come on up. No, that's it, eh? Come on up. Be careful. You gotta tie your shoe, bud. There we go. See? You're right, kids can't be arrested. All right.
I can try again.
No. So anyway, so now what do we say around strangers? We say, I don't talk to strangers. And then run and go tell somebody. Okay, now if you see me in my police car, I'm gonna go see my police car in a little bit here. Okay, if you ever see me driving, you can wave to me. Okay, sometimes I might not be paying attention when my policeman friends might not be paying attention. We might not wave back, but you can only wave to me if you're wearing your seatbelt and you're in your car seat, okay? If you're not wearing your seatbelt, you can't wave to me. Now, if say your mom or dad forgets to put their seatbelt on, then wave really hard and then tell me that they're not wearing their seatbelt. Because I have this little piece of paper I put my autograph on and kind of reminds them to wear their seatbelt, okay? All right, hello, my name is Officer Jim. I work for the Troy Police Department. If you haven't met me before, I've been a police officer 25 years here. Today we're going to talk about how to be safe, especially around strangers. Now, some of the programs that we've done over the years at some of the schools and maybe some functions you've been at, we may have talked to you when you're real little. And I talked about 4 or 5-year-old, and we talked about stranger danger, and I bring some cartoon characters. I don't know if you remember, we brought out these kind of characters and showed you, and we kind of taught you how to be safe around strangers if you haven't forgot what they are. Okay. Typically, about every year, about 800,000 kids get reported missing each year. But most of those aren't really missing. A lot of times, kids are out with their friends and they forget to tell their mom or dad where they're at, and their mom or dad call because you haven't been home yet. Or sometimes you might get in a fight with your mom or dad, and some kids like take off and they'll hang out at their friend's house. And then their parents will call us concerned, and then, you know, typically we locate them within the first couple hours and those. So when we were little, I tell kids, to tell your parents where you're at. You should always know. And that's one of the things we showed them. Is like, always tell your parents where you're at because they should know where you're at. So in case you aren't home, they can call you on your cell phone now and say, you know what, you're supposed to be home at this certain time, okay? Because like I said, 800,000 kids every year in the United States get reported missing, but really they're not. In fact, only about 115 kids typically are actually kidnapped by strangers. And that's 115 is 115 too many. Okay? So I like to get to the little kids and talk to them about how to be safe around strangers and some of the things we talked about. And if you remember, we don't take things from strangers, right? But now as you're getting a little older now, we find that that 115 people those kids that get reported missing are actually, half of them are like 12 years or older, kind of around your age. Okay, and they get tricked by adults. When you're little, you're always so afraid of people you don't know, strangers, that you kind of hide behind mom and dad. But now as you get a little older and you start talking to adults, some kids get tricked. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, is put you in kind of some situation. We're going to show some films of some kids that kind of do things and some of the mistakes they make. And I'm going to stop and I want to get an idea from what if you're in that same situation, what you do. So in case it ever happens that you find yourself in a situation where you're with somebody that kind of tricked you, you might have an idea in the back of your mind, oh yeah, I remember this is what I wanted to do, and you do it, okay? So let's hold the first one. The first one is a young man, and the phone rings and he's going to answer it.
Hello?
Hello, is your mom there?
No.
Is your mom home right now?
No.
How about your dad? Is your dad around?
No.
Is he home?
No.
Well, look, this is Mr. Smith, and I work with your dad, and he got a present for you and your family. And is it okay if I come by right now and drop it off to you?
No.
Well, you sure? Because I really don't want you to miss out on this present. I don't want you to miss out. It's a pretty cool thing. How about if I just come by right now and just drop it off to you right now? Okay. Picked up the phone. You know when you're little on the phone, you learn how to talk, and you want to answer the phone all the time. You pick it up. And sometimes kids pick it up and they don't realize it's not somebody they know. Okay. In this situation here, this young man picked the phone up and he doesn't know who that is, right? He never asked who was. What are the kind of things did he do wrong that you saw right away?
He answered that his parents weren't there.
Right. He said, my parents aren't here right now, but then he went on further and said, when the guy asked him, are your parents home? He said, no, they're not home. So you're right. He told the person on the phone, my parents aren't home right now. So he did make that mistake. Okay. But the guy then insisted he wanted to come over, right? So he did, right at the beginning he said no. You know, he wanted, even though this guy tried to entice him, tried to trick him to think, hey, I've got this present, you really want this present. He didn't trick him to think, okay, come on over right now. So if you're in that situation, what would you do right now if you're on the phone and all of a sudden you realize, you know, this isn't somebody I don't know. What would you do right now? What would you tell this guy on the phone?
First of all, I wouldn't tell them that my parents aren't home. Maybe say, oh, they're in the bathroom or they're in the shower and they can't come to the phone.
Right, so this person may think, okay, maybe they can't answer the phone, but they're somewhere in the house, right? What happens if that person asks you for your address and all that? You don't want to give them an address, right? Okay. This person, if they knows you and they're calling, they really should know. If they really know your parents, they should know your address. Or if they really know your parents, they kind of should call them, right? And set up something ahead of time. Okay, so let's see what this young man does when this guy really wants to be insistent about coming over.
My mom just went to the grocery store. She'll be back in a few minutes. I'll believe you called then.
Will we call back then? You sure? Because I really don't want you to miss out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So maybe he did realize that, you know what, and he thought to himself, you know what, my mom's at the grocery store. She'll be home in a few minutes, okay? Why don't you call back then? So he, just like you said, he didn't tell him they're in the house, but he made it known to this guy that my mom's gonna be home in a few minutes, so let this guy know. Now let's say he did realize afterwards. Maybe he did say, you know what, come on over and bring this present over. Okay, maybe he forgot and didn't think of the suggestion you made. Okay, certainly in that situation when you realize you might have made a mistake, what can you do then? What would the first thing, if your mom and dad aren't home and you maybe gave somebody you don't know too much information, you might think they're coming over, what would you do then? Or what things could you do?
Call 911.
You can certainly call us, call the police department. We'll come over and we'll say, you know what, we'll get as much information from you. Police officer stop by and say, okay, and we'll ask, was it somebody you knew? Did that person give you his name? Do you remember his name in there? Mr. Smith, okay, so yeah, you tell the police officer. The guy said his name was Mr. Smith. Now, we don't know if that's his name or not, okay, but certainly that's information. But the first thing we're going to do is we may call your mom or dad and say, are you going to come home soon? Okay, because we're going to stay there and make sure that somebody's not going to come by. And especially that person knows your address. If that young man gave him his address, we're going to be right there. So we're going to look for somebody driving by looking for your address, okay? So certainly you can call 911. That's one of the reasons we have 911. That's definitely an emergency, that you gave too much information and you think a stranger's going to come by. Or you can call mom or dad, or maybe your babysitter, or maybe your neighbor. Okay, maybe they can come by. Okay, so perfect answer. All right, let's try the next person does. Here we're in a park. We've got some kids playing around. And we're going to focus on one young man here, and he's going to start walking around. What do you think is going on right now? You want to take a guess? Well, he's kind of looking around. He's not playing with the kids anymore. All right, let's find out what happened. Hey, you lost?
Yes.
You're lost?
Yes.
Well, who'd you come here with?
My mom.
You came with your mom? You can't find her?
No.
Well, what was she wearing?
White shirt and black pants.
She's wearing a white shirt and black pants?
Yes.
Well, you know what? I think I saw her walking over there. How about you come with me and we'll go over there and we'll find her because I think she's right over there. Come on with me. Okay, so we got a young man playing in the park. And it doesn't have to be a park. It could be at the store. You know, could be maybe he went to the ball game and all of a sudden he got separated from your parents. And he's obviously playing in the park, wasn't paying attention, playing around with some friends, and all of a sudden realized, you know, whoever he came there with, whether it's mom or dad or babysitter, you can't find him now. So he's walking around looking for him, and can't find him, okay? So obviously there's a guy in the park, a stranger comes walking up to him and starts talking to him. So it's, any idea what this young man should do right now?
Run away
Could run away.
and scream.
Absolutely scream. Especially if this guy reaches his hand out, if he grabs hold of him, certainly scream. Scream as loud as you can. Because sometimes at the park there may be some people that you might not see, but might be around the corner or nearby, or even some neighbors who might hear you scream and draw their attention. Certainly that's doing something. What else? What happens if this guy says, hey, I think I saw your mom around the corner. Why don't you come with me? Let's go over there. What would you do then? What would you tell this guy?
Maybe say, I'll just check over there myself.
Okay. And get away from that guy. Especially and walk the different. If he starts walking with you, then take off somewhere else or take off running somewhere else. What happens if you're in a store? Let's say you're at the shopping mall and you get lost. Did your parents ever talk to you and tell you what to do if you get separated? What was that?
Ask like someone that works there.
Right. Go up to the register. You've got employees right there. Especially certain stores, they wear the same color. They'll have their name tag on. Walk up to them and say, look, I'm lost. And they have a PA system. Even some stores have security, and they'll call security. Or, if they really can't find your parents, they'll call the police department, and officers like myself will show up. And I'll tell you what, I tell kids, even if a police officer shows up, you stay right where you're at. If you feel comfortable staying by the register, stay right there. If you feel like staying right in a certain spot in the store, I'll stay with you. Okay, and I'll send other officers out to look for your mom or dad. I'll find out, like I said, I'll find out what kind of clothes you're wearing, what your mom's name is. Hopefully we'll announce it if they have a PA system announce, you know, we're looking for that person, okay? We've got a lost parent, and give the name of your parent and say, we've lost you, your son or daughter's here with us, okay? So I'll send other officers. So don't ever walk, because some guy may look like a security guard, and he probably is, but I still wouldn't walk with him, especially don't go outside the store. Just stay right inside the store, and like I said, perfect spot, right by the register, where there's a lot of people there all the time, okay? And, you know, you can be seen, and you've got enough people around you where you're always gonna be safe. So, but definitely, don't get tricked by this guy or somebody and say, walk somewhere else. Because if I'm a parent, I'm looking for you, especially when you were little, I'm kind of walking around here, and if you stay right there, eventually I'm going to find you, whether it's in a store or park or at a ball field or wherever, okay? Let's see what he decides to do.
Wait, no. I'll just stay. How about you just go find her, and I'm just going to go, and you just bring her over here. I'm just going to stay here.
We'll just go over there. We'll go find her. We'll come together. Come on
No.
with me.
No.
Sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so he makes the right choice. Instead of going over to find him, he says right here, say, if you want to help me, then please go find my parent. If you're in a store, just in a person, hey, says, I'll help you. Say, look, you know what, how about if you go? I'm going to sit right here and you go find security or an employee and tell them I'm lost and have them come find me. Okay, certainly don't walk off with them, especially they try and trick you and think. And then if you say that you do get tricked, maybe there's a nice person you realize, and all of a sudden as you're walking, you realize, oh my gosh, I'm with a perfect stranger. Then break free and say, you know what, second thought, I'm going to stay right here. I'm going to stay right up here at registers, okay? Perfect answer. Let's see what this happens in this situation. Okay, we have somebody knock on the door. What did your parents always tell you when somebody knocks on the door? What to do? Right, see who it is. Do you open the door to see who it is? Or if you have a little peephole in the window in the door, you look out there, or he's going to look in the side window. Now, what happens if it's somebody you don't know? What are you going to do? What's that?
Don't answer.
And then what do you do, though? Because he may keep knocking. He may look inside the windows. He or she may look in there. Then what are you going to do? Maybe they see you looking. Then what kind of thing could you do then? If he sees you or she sees you looking out the window, what would you do? Go ahead, say it real loud.
Get your parent.
What's that?
Get your parent.
Tell your parents. Okay, so you're going to yell at the parents. Somebody's here at the door. What happens if your parents aren't there, though? You're old enough now, I don't know if your parents let you stay, but maybe if not, in another couple of years, they may let you stay home alone.
Maybe call them and ask if they're expecting someone.
Okay, let's see what this young man does. His parents aren't home, and he's old enough to stay home by himself, but let's see.
Hey, Mom, somebody's at the door!
Okay, so he yells real loud, "Hey, Ma, there's somebody at the door," even if his ma's not there. Okay, that's going to let this stranger know that, you know what, there's a parent home. So if this is truly, somebody that's a stranger wants to do something, he knows, oh, there's a parent home here, okay? Now, if the guy keeps knocking, he won't leave, certainly, and you're home alone, I call 911 and say, you know what, there's a guy here, I don't know who it is, and he keeps knocking the door, he won't leave. Okay, or maybe he starts looking in the windows. Certainly call right away, and we'll send some police officers out there, and we're going to find out who that person is. And like I said, it may be somebody your parents know. And say, you know what, you knocked on the door a couple times, and nobody answered. You really should then leave and come back later on. If your parents were really home, then they come to the door. If they don't answer the door right away, then that person should leave. Okay, and we'll tell them that. You knocked a couple times, nobody came to the door, and it's probably time. Maybe they could buy another time. Okay, it's a good answer. All right, what do we do? Got a kid playing by his bike and somebody grabs him. What would you do right now?
Scream.
Scream real loud, really. Draw as much attention. You're in a neighborhood here, you got a bunch of cars, so you're in a subdivision, so scream as loud as you can. Scream whatever you want. Help me! Stranger! Yell real loud so everybody can hear you. Okay? But I tell kids, what other things is he may want to grab you and take you somewhere. Maybe he's got his car nearby and wants to take you in his car. So what I tell kids is, if you got a bike or any kind of object, use it to your advantage. And that's what he did. He's not going to let go of that bike. So if he wants to take him, he's going to take that bike with him. It's make it a lot harder. Eventually he's just going to give up. Okay? Okay, we got a young man playing basketball.
Hey, buddy. Let me help you out to shoot. I used to play in my day.
Okay. Stranger comes up, walks up to him and says, hey, see you playing basketball. Mind if I help you shoot? What are you going to do? Somebody you don't know. It's not a relative, not a friend. You're not a neighbor. What are you going to tell this guy?
I already know how to. I'm good.
What is he just hangs around? Well, maybe I'll just help you out shooting. Maybe I'll just rebound for you. Then what would you do? Certainly, I tell kids, you know what? Take that basketball. Here you go. Throw it. Get his attention, the basketball, and then take off running. Especially somebody you don't know. Okay? Let's see what he tells them.
My dad's right inside. You can see both of us.
Okay, he tells him, hey, my dad's inside. I'll bring him out, and you can teach both of us how to play. Okay, and now if the guy didn't leave, then I'd say, take the basketball, start running, or start yelling. Get away from me, stranger! Okay, scream real loud. Get your neighbors to hear. Okay, very good. Now, unfortunately, another month, we're going to be going back to school, aren't we? Yeah, and some of us are walkers, right? We got two boys walking to school. Okay, they're walking to school, and some areas there's just bushes around that people don't keep trimmed up, or you walk next to a park or something, a lot of places to hide. They're walking to school and they see somebody peeking out of the bushes. What are you going to do?
Cross the street and go the other way.
Walk the other side? You certainly do that. What else can we do?
Turn around.
Turn around, yeah, you can turn around. Let's turn around. Let's head back home. Or turn around, let's go down the other block and around another way. Might be a little longer, but certainly you don't want to walk to this guy hiding behind the bushes. What guy's peeking behind the bushes looking at you? Okay, certainly go somewhere else. If you're right near your friend's house, knock on their door and let their parents know, hey, there's some guy hanging around the bushes here. Okay, and their parent or somebody will call 911. Or you got a cell phone. Start walking the other way and say, you know what, dial 911. I'm walking to school right now and there's some guy hiding behind the bushes. And try and give me, if you know what area you're at, tell us and we're going to come out there and find out what that guy's doing. Okay, let's see what they decide to do.
Hey, is that some guy hiding behind the bushes? Yeah, I think so. Let's just go to the other side of the street. Okay.
And that's what they do. Just like you said, they walk across the other side. They're not going to walk by that guy. Okay, perfect answer. Like I said, 115 kids nationwide get kidnapped. Okay, I've been a police officer 25 years here. I'm not here to scare you. I've been doing this. I've taken a lot of missing person reports. I've never had somebody that's truly been kidnapped. Okay, but it's always better to be safe. I always want kids to know, just in that one case, that one kid, okay, gets in a situation that all of a sudden realizes, oh, I'm in a situation, I'm not supposed to be. I want you to know the answer, what to do. Okay, and you've got the answers. Just like I said earlier, you just got to do something. You'll never pick a wrong answer if you do something, whether it's screaming, yelling, okay? And if all of a sudden you realize that, hey, I'm being grabbed, then do something. You got 2 hands. You got a school bag on. You know, whip that thing around. Do whatever you can to get out of the situation, okay? People you don't know, adults, shouldn't be grabbing you. Shouldn't be trying to take you somewhere, okay? And we don't tell the little kids that. We teach the little kids how to be safe. But now you're getting older now, okay? Now you realize, and like I said earlier, half the kids that really get kidnapped are 12 years or older. So somehow they must have gotten tricked. We got 2 kids in Iowa. Now you read the news that they're missing right now. Hopefully they're going to find them, okay? So these things do happen. Hopefully you go through the rest of your life, it'll never happen to you or none of your friends. But now you know if it does, if I get in a situation, you know what? Now I know I can do something, okay? I'm Officer James Feld, and thank you for watching today's program. I'm hoping by watching it today that you can sit down with your kids, kind of have a frank discussion with them and get some ideas as to how to keep them safe.